Live.
We're on. We're on.
So back in 1960 something happened and two guys fought.
Was that about it?
Yep.
And that wraps our history segment for the evening. Thanks very much, Mike Gore at 4. Welcome, boxing fans around the world, to another episode of the Friday Night Panel. And we've got a special one lined up for you. Not only do we have Tim Witherspoon, but we also have, more importantly, Cedric Ben. There he is. There he is.
Cedric, you showed everybody how much of a baller you are sitting in front of your Corvette there, bud?
Yes, he must be.
Yo, you're on mute. You're on mute.
So this is going to be a fun show. We've got two-time heavyweight champ Tim Witherspoon in the green room waiting to be brought on, which will be brought on by our producer in 2 seconds as soon as Cedric is ready, and he gives us a thumb up. All right. I mean, there we go.
Oh my God!
Give us a mic test. In the meantime, if for those of you who might have missed our history lesson, we can recap it while Cedric sets up there.
Yeah. Sometime back in 1969, two guys fought and one guy got knocked out.
Yeah, that's about what happened in 1969. But we were probably watching those astronauts land on the moon. All right. Speaking of being around in 1969.
Yeah, right. I was a twinkle in my dad's ballsack.
Really? All right. Well, I was 9 years old back in 1969. There he is, Tim Witherspoon, two-time world heavyweight champ, joining us live.
The champ is here.
Where the rest of the guys? Do you hear me?
Yes,
yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Oh my God.
Okay, no, I swear next time I'll have the laptop and I'm gonna be ready next time, okay?
All right, okay.
All right. No problem. It works great now. It's good now.
Yeah, we can hear you fine and see you fine. I mean, might have to clean that camera.
Put something in front of my...
I was going to say, well, once you got a camera since 1964, it collects dust.
It says,
so
I can't see you guys.
What?
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
You can hear us?
Yeah.
All right. So, Cedric, the entertainer.
Yeah, I'm getting him to refresh his browser.
Yeah, let him come back on in a sec, and he will. In the meantime, Tim, how was your week?
Could you see me?
Yeah,
yes,
we can see you just fine.
Yeah, but somebody put something in front of me. Oh, well, my weekend. Well, the day is Friday. It didn't start yet. Tomorrow, I'm going up north to the Bronx. They're having a special event for Iran Broccoli. They're having me as a surprise. They didn't post me my pictures. So they just want me to come up, and then they're going to surprise. They want me to surprise Rich the boxer, who's the Long Island charity. He runs the Long Island charity thing for former boxers, and he told me, we're going to just show up and just be like surprised. Something's blocking my picture.
Maybe
it says Cedric Ben. Can you hear me?
Oh, I see. You need to either scroll
we can hear you, Cedric.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Cedric.
Okay, what do I have to...
You need to speak into the microphone,
there we go.
Cedric.
I can see you now. I can see you now.
Okay,
right.
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. We're good. Now everything's good?
Okay. Now, my question to our producer is whether we should let Carl join in or not.
Yo, get him in.
Yeah, just like we let. So Carl's one of our mates in England, and his partner Ray was on our show earlier on.
Carl, come jump on, brother.
Yeah, we'll either send you that link or put it on that chat line.
I want to ask
great to see
you guys.
There you go.
I want to ask you something. There's we might have talked about it too. I talked about Paul Johnson, right?
Yep.
We trying to do the union stuff. And we got like 7 people. We got people we got a guy from India, we got England, we got America, and we trying to put together a podcast so we can do what like talk all the time. Remember? I think I talked to you about that before. We had them good when the other day was like 6 people.
Last week, champ, you talked about it. You talked about it with us last week. Yeah.
So let's gradually try to incorporate them if you want. Later, we can do us, but sometimes you can fit them in because they're trying to help former boxers.
No problem. No problem. The more guests, the merrier.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Paul Johnson. So Paul Johnson, I think I told you, is a former Army Marine guy who's been through boxing. He had 12 fights, and his heart is in it. He's too many boxers running around after their career's over, messed up, and it's embarrassing, taking all kind of monies. Like they try to get Ready Bo to fight on celebrity boxing. Like I fought a guy named Hazel Roach on celebrity boxing. Lamar Odom fought Frank Carter, the YouTuber, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't want nothing anymore. They asked me to fight Red Bull, and I turned it down because Reddit can barely talk. He could talk, but you could tell he don't need to be in the ring. So I relinquished my heavyweight championship. I want to make it a big deal because I don't want no boxers to be in that position. You know, Ready Bull boxing.
Wow, they want to
sparring. They don't need to be. If you hear him talk, you would agree with me. So I'm just going to get a title or yeah, but they should get Razor too. But I don't want to box Red Bull because his speech is a little, you know, if you listen to him, he really, you know, he got hit. Yeah, so I don't want to do it. I think was my title. If you saw the fights last week, I fought Hazel Roach, Lamar Odom fought Carter, Peter gunfight somebody. I don't want to be involved with that. The promoter is my friend Damon Thurman. He used to be in camp with Bernard Hopkins training and stuff. But I just don't want to put no boxers that's in this situation. I don't want to be a part of that.
I respect that decision. You know, safety first. Safety first.
We trying to get them guys to box.
Fighter doesn't need.
Well, they should be on your podcast. They should be on your podcast talking to you about their stories that are out there getting hit inside their head at this stage in the game. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Cedric.
No, I was just saying I definitely respect that decision of safety first, especially when you could tell the person doesn't need to be taking any more punches. It's one thing to do it for a good cause if you still have, you know, good speech and you still have, good awareness. But when your motor skills, your speech skills are going, there's no reason to even for charity to take any more punches to the head. So definitely respect that decision. I don't know where the lining of questioning you guys wanted to start from.
Well, Tim, as a member. What? You made 40,000?
40,000.
Lamar Odom made 40,000.
Made 40,000. And I think the people hit him for child support. I think
That's why you gotta.
So he needed that 40 grand, eh? He needed that 40 grand hard.
You got questions? It's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike's got a handful about your career as a heavyweight boxer, your relationship with Don King. We want to hear it all.
Honestly, yeah. Champ, I want to ask you one thing. Can you run us through what it was like with Don King? Like what was your experience? What did you experience while working with him?
Okay, so in the beginning, we had, and me and my brother and a couple other boxers had a situation like Mike Tyson. we had a manager that was really sick and we really cared about us, named Mark Stewart. He was a Jewish guy. He was really cared, and he was talking negative about that. No, I'm gonna make sure Don King pay you guys. Train hard, get in good shape, and when it comes time to negotiate, we make Don pay. So I think I might have told you this. He was pushing us. Me and my brother Anthony had 13 knockouts and 13 fights, and I hated to box with him because he could punch real hard. So we were coming up with something. Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Artie McDowell was his name. He was a bad dude. He sparred with Marvin Hagler. We was all in the group. He used to talk to us about Bernard Hopkins when Bernard was in jail. Okay, and Bernard, he was telling us. So I keep going out there stuff. He was really going to push us. He was treating us good. I was undefeated. My brother was undefeated. And then I think I might have told you this. He had partners. I seen them every day, but not in his doing. Larry Lynn, Dr. Snow. He was a dentist that got caught selling cocaine, making millions every couple of months. They was making millions. Well, I would say millions. Let's say so. A lot of money they was making, and know it. And I was wondering why when we walked into the office, everybody was sniffing. Like people like this in the office. What happened was we were on our way to greatness, training hard, eating good, living in apartments with musicians. We was in the building as musicians. Brandy Wells, Dr. What's they call him? I forgot his name. But there were musicians in the same building. There was boxing musicians. We was on our way. And then we got busted. That's how we wound up with Don. Police bust them. Every shut down. And then my manager, Mark Stewart, was, Tim, I'm going to put y'all with Don King because that's how you're going to get the championship. And I was like, I don't want to go with him. My brother Anthony didn't go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I heard so much bad stuff about him. And so if you look up Larry Snow, he went to jail. And I think Mark Stewart, my manager, went to jail for years. That's how we wound up Don King. We heard so much negative about him, we didn't want to go. But when my brother didn't go, I didn't have nowhere to go. So I went to the training camp, changed everything around. We wasn't getting treated like we're getting treated with Mark Stewart, and that's how things went. I worked for Don. We had big fights. We were in training camp. We had to be in training camp to get in trouble. So we after the fight, we had to go home for like maybe a week, and then we had to go back to training camp. And the reason why he did that because of the taxes. He could write us off by being in. There was a lot of people in training camp. There was a lot of people in the training camp being treated a certain way. Some were being treated good, and some were being treated bad, and some was really they were just there. And the morale in the training camp was in Orwell, Ohio, in between Ashtabula and Youngstown. If y'all guys familiar with Ohio?
Yep.
Is in between Asheville and so a whole lot of different boxers. Michael DeMee, Dwight Davison, you name it. Azuma Nelson from Ghana, hell of a fighter.
Yes, he was.
Miss Spinks. We were in the dorm. Me and Leon Spinks. So we were all in there.
Wow.
You know, some would get paid, some wouldn't. The atmosphere was. Everybody was broke. Like I had money. Okay, I had money, and I would lend money to the boxers, and they would pay me back after they get their weekly money. They would pay me back. That's how bad it was. You know. Okay, just real quick, and then you ask me another question. I was training camp, so I had more money than some of the other guys. Michael Dokes had money. He had money because that was the prize. Michael Dokes. Everybody else was a slave. So we would get paid every week, They were paid every week. And, they would wait for the next pay. So I had money from fights. So one particular week, you're gonna like this. One particular week, Talkin, the son, didn't show up at the camp, and everybody had money. So I wanted to get my money from lent to the boxers. You know, about 400 or 500. That's all. So he didn't come. So we all got in cars and went to Don King's farm. He had like 200 acres. He had big mansion. Carl King lived on the other side of the mansion, and they had wood back too, where we didn't chop wood there, but we went there. We went straight to Carl King's house, was on the complex, and because they want their money, so we started knocking on the door. Carl, they was calling them and everything. So I was standing there. This is a true story. I was standing there, and they was knocking on the door. So all of a sudden, I seen a thing move. He wouldn't answer the door. I seen the blinds move, and hey, somebody's up there. You know, everything was like bang, 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 bang. I said, yo, man, we might as well go back to the camp, man. They ain't coming about. So everybody got in their cars, go back to the camp. Well, I wasn't upset, but I was kind of mad because these guys had to feed their family. So I took, I think, a rock and I broke a window out. Then after that, I think they started shooting the camp up with guns. Yeah, they started shooting the camp up.
Are you serious?
I know about this. They were shooting the camp green. Mixed green, mixed blood greens too. He had a shotgun, so they windows out of the dorms. They shot holes in the ceiling. They were shooting animals. They shot the kitchen up. Then real quick. Yeah, and then when Don King heard about it, he was on the West Coast. He was in the West. He flew from the West Coast, and so when he came into the camp, everybody was in line. He was calling them one by one, prosecuting them. You get the hell out of this camp. That's what he said. Your money's cut off. He kicked a lot of people. He kicked my brother out the camp. I think, yeah. So that was a rebellion, and after that. This the last one. Then you ask a question. This security, Abdul Rahman was Muhammad Ali's was Muhammad Ali's security skin guy, and he was telling us all kind of stuff about. He was like infiltrating and coming and telling us what to do, and he named us the Raiders of Boxing because we rebelled against Don King and we shot his camp up. So that's how the Raiders of Boxing, because we were getting paid. They shot the camp up. And how Don King found out? It was raining. He found out, too, because when the rain rained, the water was sailing in the dorms. Yep.
And your training center. Your training center today is called the Raiders Camp, too. Today. It's still called Raiders, right?
Well, our organization... Here's the BOC, the Boxing Organized Committee. That's Paul Johnson in the retirement. So what I was going to do, with anything I was dealing with, and I was going to put up the Raiders of Boxing. And there's still a lot of Raiders waiting around for me to try to establish something. But I let Paul Johnson do the BOC because they're going to be doing a lot of work. They're going to be doing a lot. So I just let it. But the Raiders of Boxing is going to come back. We're going to come back, and we're going to have shirts printed. We're going to have an organization soon as we get back on our feet. Now they there. They boxers. They there. They know hard. And we're going to get together. We're going to have fun, put organizations together, events. Just right now.
All right, Mike, what's your next question? Or Cedric, do you have a question?
My gosh. Champ, you just blew my mind, okay? You blew my mind, Champ. Cedric, you got to ask the next one, man. I'm still taking all this in. Still taking all this in.
Have it blow your mind. That was serious.
Stories, man.
Yeah. What year was that? What year was that, Champ?
I was champion. I was champ. So it had to be between 84 and when I lost the title, it had to be in between 3 and 86. It had to be within that period.
Okay.
I don't have in the end, I'm gonna tell you, I don't have a problem with Don King or promoters, but then we were fighting against the promoters that was doing boxers wrong.
Yes, thank you. You guys paved the way. You guys paved the way. You guys paved the way for to help now.
But you know,
can you guys hear me okay?
We did suffer. Huh?
I was just wondering if you can hear me okay.
Yes, I can. Imagine coming home, and I think I told you guys, coming home from a 65,000 stadium with people with 65,000 people in it, throwing stuff at you, screaming at you, right? You're in another country. You knocked their champion out in their backyard. He got 1.4 million, and you go home with 95,000.
Wow.
That's what I got for fighting Frank Bruno. I didn't even know how much money I was getting when we flew over there. That's how bad it was. Yup.
That's crazy.
True story.
That's crazy. I want to ask you a specific question about training camp. I had a few questions with everything that you said, but specifically about training camp, can you take us through like 1 week of one of your best training camps, one of your best fights, whether it was the Larry Holmes fight or Frank Bruno fight, whichever one of your favorite fights, just a quick example of what you did for that training camp that week, like, how many miles you ran, how many rounds you sparred or whatever. I know not the week of you're tapering off, but like maybe in the middle of training camp, if you can just give a quick example of what you had to go through.
Well, the majority of times, so I was a hardener when I was with Mark Stewart, and we got to talk about Dennis Rappaport, who was Jerry Cooney's manager, who really treated me good. But when I was with Don King in training camp, when I knew I had to move. When I was with Mark Stewart, we were training hard. I was doing the best I can do to try to get in shape. And then when we went to Don King, I was training hard, but mentally I was really, really disappointed, and I really couldn't get up to certain things. So the stuff that I did it, but maybe 3/4 of it instead of all bit. Mentally, I was upset. I didn't want to be with Don King. I heard so much about him, and so when I was in training camp, it was boring, okay, so we got up. Oh, everybody would get up in the training camp and run.
Yeah.
So Don King had Aldo Rockman, and he had his other guy to wake all the boxers up. There was about maybe 24, maybe 30 boxers. Make sure everybody trained and run. But he wouldn't bother me, Leon Spinks. He wouldn't bother certain boxers. He knew that the security, he just let us go, So he wouldn't bother us, but we would wake up and we go run in the woods. We would run like 4.5 miles. Then we would come back. It was in Aura. We would run through the Amish. We would run through the Amish neighborhoods, and it was all farm. It was nothing but Amish people, and we would run 4 miles all the way around and come all the way back, and then go to the camp, and then we would get ready for breakfast. They had a cook. There was this lady cook. I forgot her name, but then they had this Muslim cook that was he was tight with Muhammad Ali. He was, they gave him a job there. His name was Mr. Early. He was from New York, Harlem, and he was really good guy. So we would chop wood. If you want to take a shower, you can, and wait for us. No, I'm sorry. We would run. We would come back, wait around for breakfast, eat. Then right after eating, we would all go chop wood. The woods was about a good 200. Had to walk all the way back in the woods. About 20 on there, and all you hear is wah, 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 shout, shout, all the wood chopping and stuff. Then we would come back, mess up for gym. And if you wanted a snack in between, the kitchen was open. The chef and this lady, they would leave snacks out and drinks out, so you can go get that. And if you wanted that, you go in and get that. Then you rest up gym. Gym would, it was different weight classes. So the lighter guys would go first, and the heavyweights would go in around 4 or 5. So Zunos and them would come in early. Russ was small. Frankie Randall, I think. Remember Frankie Randall?
Wow. Yes, definitely, 100%.
And a lot of the small guys would go in first. How about Julian Jackson? One of the hard punchers. Julian Jackson. Julian Jackson.
Yes, of course. Yes, definitely.
Julian Jackson, boy, that was a punch. And so all the lightweights would go in and stuff, and then we would go in like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then after that it would be served, and then after every dinner, some of us, me, Leon Spain, and even Carl King, we would sneak down to the town center and go to the bar and talk about how we're gonna Carl King kind of sat down and let his feelings come out and try to support us. That's why I do have a little different feeling about Carl. A lot of times we would go afterwards, he would be sympathetic to what we were doing and what would happen to us, I'd rather. You know, he would like, bag, I wish my dad just changed. And I swear, Carl King was actually saying this to us, and we would drink a beer, we talked to us. He said, yo, I'm going to see if I can, whether he really did it or not. Carl King told us, he said, look, man, I'm going to see if I can change things. I'm going to see if I can change my dad. No, he would say that after the workouts. And sometimes I was like, no, Carl was cool. He was cool. He tried. I think he would try. Because when we get down there and we're drinking, get a little beer and stuff, he kind of opened up, and he was like, and you can see that he wanted to help us, you know. But I'm gonna let you know, guys. I'm gonna go through this. At the very end, I just left me and thing alone. I got kids. I got family. I'm not gonna keep going on with the rest of my life talking about King. I want to be happy with my children, so I let that go. We're going to keep on talking about whatever to talk about, but I stood up, I became a man, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to let him or nobody just destroy my life. I got beautiful children. I'm going to go on and be happy, and that's where I'm at today. You call him, and you talking to me, and I'm happy. Little girl in there, and I'm going to make eat. We're going to I'm going to call my other daughters. I'm going to call my mom. I'm going to call my family. I'm not going to stop me from having fun and being with my kids. It happened to me. It was a great experience, but I'm going to take the loss, and I'm going to go forward. Yep. Exactly. I'm happy. Exactly. That was what happened to all the people that was supposed to help us. We boxers and all the people that talk about boxing. What happened? Well, then nobody helped us. All of this, Don King this way, Don King, but nobody put no money in our pockets. Nobody formed the organization. So why? Look, man, it's over. He punched me in the face. I punched him in the stomach. I'm going on with my life.
There you go.
Was I supposed to finish something? Was I supposed to finish something, right?
No.
No, you were good. I was asking.
Listen.
Yeah, I was asking about the training camp. You answered.
About the rebellion. Yeah, we talked about the rebellion. They got rid of the guys. I told you about the training. And after, we would go down there and we would have a drink. Every once in a while, we'll call. But remember, Michael Dukes, God bless him, he was their baby. He would get everything. They would give Michael needed something. He didn't have to wait because they would give it to him. But everybody else, like slaves. We were like slaves, and if you messed your money up, you had to borrow from another boxer. You know, a lot of people don't talk about this type of stuff. They stopped talking about it, but I didn't mind talking about it. You know, so like I said, I'm happy now. I'm gonna mark that loss up, and I'm gonna try to make a living now. Try to make things better now. So, ask me.
Champ, what was your favorite fight out of all of your fights?
You know what? The Larry Holmes fight and the Bruno fight, and the first Bone Crusher fight. And the second fight, I threw the fight. I'm gonna tell you about that if you want to know about it.
Yes, please. But yes, please.
Let's the Larry Holmes and the Frank and the Frank Bruno fight. So the Bone Crusher fight. Let's talk about Bone Crusher. And I feel about him. Okay, I feel bad Crusher. I fought him twice. I fought Bone Crusher twice. Fought him twice. The first time, shut him out. 10 out of 10. No, it was I think it was a USBA. I won it 12 rounds. I beat him almost every round. I think knocked him out maybe 3 times. I hit him a couple of times. He stunned me 1 time, but the second time, I knew that King interest wasn't in me or Bone Crusher or Tony Tubbs or nobody. His interest was in Mike Tyson. He didn't care about me. He cared about Bone Crusher. So what happened was, I remember the girl, she smoked marijuana, and now she in trouble. I smoked marijuana, only took like 6 puffs, and it cost me 25 grand.
Wow.
And they sent me to the rehab.
Wow.
That's the most expensive joint I've ever heard of. That's the most expensive joint I've ever heard of. 25 grand for 6 pulls?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the truth. So it was January. My birthday was 27th. We were in Atlantic, Georgia, getting ready to fight Tony Tubbs, right? So we had a little tiny party. There was food there, but it wasn't no alcohol. I think it was somebody had a couple of beers. And so we sitting there. There was like happy birthday to him. So I walked outside in marijuana, and I said, "Whoa," And I had like this. I went over. So give me some. I didn't realize that I was going to get tested. I didn't realize. So I went over. I was smoking. And I forgot who it was. I was smoking. And then I went inside. Everything was cool. I didn't think that I was going to get a drug. What the hell? So the party ended. The fight was on Martin Luther King's birthday, the 16th, January the 16th. So I retained my title. I think I took it from Tony Tubbs. He had the day, and I took the title from him. For that fight, both of us really ripped off. How about this? A championship fight. The IRS came in and took all my money. I won the title. I had to borrow money from Don King. They came and took my money. Tony Tubbs probably didn't get paid. Don didn't care about us. He cared about Mike Tyson. So what I had to do was pay $25,000 fine and go to rehab. I went to the rehab for 3 months. They laughed me out of the rehab. You in here for weed? He said, "Man, I'm a heroin addict. We'll listen to you." Yeah, they didn't. It was like, well, weed. It's like weed ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So I had to go to rehab for 3 months, and then Tony Tubbs a rematch. But then when I was training for the Tony Tubbs, he hurt his shoulder, and I was like, that sounds kind of fishy. He hurt his shoulder, so they stuck Bone Crusher in. I said, I'm not fighting him again. I wasn't in shape to fight Bone Crusher. I didn't do the things that I did for Tubbs because Bone Crusher is a much harder puncher. Now I beat him before, so it got close to the fight. I thought the fight was off. They called the fight off. I thought the fight in Tubbs was off, so I was drinking beer and I was smoking weed. I was smoking weed, so yeah, I was. Okay, they pulled him Bone Crusher, and I'm not fighting him. He's a hard puncher. Plus, my option is to fight Tubbs. So everybody and then try to get me to fight. So I'm not going to say their names. You look it up. New York commissioners and stuff. Everybody took their turn threatening me in my room in New York. Before the fight, they kept on my door. door. I had my kids answering the door. I even had gangster guys from the city came up because they knew I was going to answer the door. The doctor came. Commissioners came. Y'all don't want to say their names. They came pushing me to fight because I didn't want to take the fight. I think if I would have walked away, it was a lot of money. So I went and got a lawyer. I wasn't in shape to fight him. Look, man, I'm gonna have to take a dive. I know you want Tyson. If he don't care about me, he don't even care about Bone Crusher. So they pulled Bone Crusher in, and I said, my lawyer, I don't know, Tim, I think you better take this fight. So I said, you know what? Let me think about this. So then I came back to him, I think a couple of days later. I talked to some of my friends in my corner. I said, look, man, Bone Crusher, hard puncher. I haven't been training. I stopped training for like a week. And they don't care about me. I said, I'm going down. I'm gonna make sure. I told the lawyer, I said, make sure I get like 250 grand or make sure I get 300. I think I got 3 something. I said, all right, as much money. I could have got 700,000 because they wanted me out of the way. That's all. I wasn't thinking. I just took that little bit of money. If I would have asked for 700 was the belt. I wasn't thinking. I got 300,000, and if I would have asked for 6, he gave it to me because he wanted 10. That was a dumb move. So I told the lawyer, make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule, and he did. And if you look at it, tighten it when y'all guys finish, and you'll see that he hit me. He really hit me. He didn't hurt me. I went down. The best thing that happened to me is that he knocked the teeth out. I had the teeth right here. But I think it was these. These are falsies. I was supposed to go to the dentist a week before the fight and get the teeth put in because of me. I couldn't put the mouthpiece in. So the best thing happened to me in that was getting my teeth knocked out. And if you look at me leaning in the corner, I spit the teeth out. I spit it out, and my brother picked it up. So then Bone Crusher fought. Then Bone Crusher fought Tyson, and Tyson fought somebody that became the champ. He didn't care about us, so that was my way out, and that was it. And after that, but I took a dive on the second Bone Crusher fight. I feel bad for Bone Crusher. I'll check the test. Everybody in the corner. My mom was crying. I think my daughter was crying, and I took him afterwards. I said, look, I just had to get away from him. I told my mom. So people in England think that I'm telling the story. But I had to get political and be a leader. I took the dive. And you look at the first, check it out when you go home. But I feel bad for Bone Crusher because he think he did hurt me. I really got hit. Check it out.
Wow.
Come on, I need you guys. Come on.
I get you.
I have a question. You've been around for a long time, and now these YouTubers are boxing, and they're making $20 million for a fight. What do you think about that?
Hey, like I was telling you earlier, I'm the celebrity boxing heavyweight champ. I don't really like for boxers that's retired and maybe Lou Hammond to come out there and fight because now I see Roy Jones for Tyson. That's cool. And I seen they had a couple other guys that said he was gonna come back and fight, but the celebrity boxing guy Feldman is trying, like I told you before, he's trying to get like Reddy Bone. He's trying to get a couple other guys that really don't need to be fighting. They retired. So I relinquished my title, the celebrity boxing title, and I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm no owner of it, and I don't want to be a part of it. But in terms of like Mike Tyson doing that, I think that's pretty good. But at those stages, they shouldn't be hit on their head. 40, 30, 30, 95, and all that, and 50. I only take one punch to alter some of your thinking in your mind and your head and stuff. So making good money. We tried to get Frank Bruno. I was going to do Frank know, but he's mental. He's mental. We couldn't get him. I used to be over in England, and I was hanging with him. He's a nice guy too. I knocked him out. He called me back. Tears was in my eyes. I knocked him out in the 11th round in England, and nobody in Bible called me and thanked me. He called me up and he said, congratulations, Tim, and I'm thankful for the honor for and I hesitated, and I said, I can't believe it. And like tears just running in my eyes a little bit. I said, this guy, he was a nice guy, and I became friends with him, you know, when I go over there and stuff like that. So guys shouldn't be boxing, and Damon Thelman knows that he's a boxer. So I just, you know, other people going to have to criticize him and tell him his wrongs and rights and what he shouldn't be doing. He know that I know that he shouldn't be doing this, but get the actors and stuff to get the actors to get in there and box. But this is one thing that they got in the contracts, and it's really bad, guys. They're not responsible for anything, any injuries or anything. That's bad. That's how I really pulled out. Celebrity boxing, type it in. They're not responsible. When you get the contract, it specifically says we're not responsible for any injuries. That's another reason why I pulled out and said I don't have nothing to do. They should have a lot to do with an injury, especially with somebody of a certain. So this is news. You're gonna start hearing about celebrity and all that. And the reason why I pulled out is that's one of the reasons they're not responsible, and that's wrong. Wrong. How about that? Everybody that you see in celebrity boxing, Lamar Odom, Aaron Carter. Well, I don't know because I don't know. Maybe they did have a top lawyer, and Damon Thelman respected them, but everybody else, they had to sign a contract. They're not responsible to get hurt. The other person I really know, I'm letting you know that. So when you be boxing, everybody's in contract on their own. They're on their own.
Wow. So if any damage
you don't
happens,
follow celebrity boxing.
I've seen a couple of the celebrity boxings. So what you're saying is after a fight, they're responsible for their own medical, all that kind of stuff. Like if they get hurt, it's on them. Yeah, that's not right. I don't think that's right at all.
I know. That's why I don't do it no more. You know, and I came up in the game with Damon. I love the guy, but he don't call me and put me in stuff. He started out calling me all the time. He started out calling me, Tim, I'm gonna do big things for you and all that. But I really didn't want to get into stuff. I did it just to see what it was like. My main interest to help boxers union and help these boxers that retire. Help them navigate their way through retirement and to, you know, to a better place, and have the young don't mess their money up. You know, and Tyson Fury or whoever, we trying to get money. Put up some money so we can. The sport that you love needs your help. Why can't you? If I had 400 million. I'll put 25 million, I swear on my life. I'll put 25 million in and find out a way to get it back in 20 years. I don't have, look, I got what, 400 something million left? Come on. I don't care about that kind of money. 25 million to the government. Let's go to the government, see what kind of plan we could do, and let's get these boxers out of this bad situation we in. That's what's in my heart. 25 million ain't nothing when you got 400 million. Walk around with money and stuff. I respect Floyd, respect him and his dad. He did a really good job. But where's your heart? Come on. There's boxers, we need you. This sport you made a lot of money in. Come on, take care of the sport. You could be the president, Floyd. You could be the head. Let's get these boxers that's in a bad way, give them some help. Let's organize a lot of different rules. If Johnson was on the air, he would tell you exactly what we need. Okay, boxing is a he said boxing is a you need to get him on here next time. He can explain to you, you know. And we ain't violent. We're not violent. We love everybody. We just want everybody, all the boxers, the former boxers. We want to feel like we the ones that fought and retired. We want them to feel like they did accomplish something. We want the current guys to feel like that they're going to be looked after the fight over, you know, and try to get them to save their money and invest it right. This is what we need. All the other sports got it, you know. So this is what I'm doing, and I want to talk about. I'll talk to you guys about Don King, but I'm letting you know that I left it alone, and you know it, Joe. I left it alone. If you ask me a question, I'll tell you it, but I don't want to campaign to keep talking about Don, but I will tell you guys these little stories that I did with him. And if he came to me and said, Tim, I want you to do some stuff, I wouldn't hesitate to go. I'll just make sure I paid, though. I won't hesitate to help him. He is the best promoter in history in terms of being colorful and speaking and non-talk. Yeah, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's Don King. He talking stuff, and he was a seller. But why did he do wrong? Why did he do it? He had everything. He had the world in his pocket, and he stole money. He stole from boxers. He still can go down as a great of all time, like Ali, if he just come back, start promoting, and admit a little bit that he's sorry that he did these things. Everybody know he did these things. All you have to do is that. And he can go down as the greatest promoter. Don was a something. I used to see you know how Don talk. And everybody just tighten up. But they didn't know that he was ripping people off that bad. Right. You know, so we need to get Paul Johnson on and some of the guys over there, because this boxing thing is a serious thing, and there's a lot of young men after the career they can't think right, they messed up in the head. There's a couple of boxers can't communicate. Man, I feel bad. They did all that fighting, and now there's nobody gonna take care of them. So. I'm glad y'all guys put me on this time. I'm gonna try to get sell song. I'm gonna try to on. Okay. Pharrell Biggs with the gold medal. The gold medal. He won the gold medal. Okay. I can get him to come on. He can't really. You can't understand him, but he needs help. Oh, that's no problem. I just gotta go to him. I just gotta go to him. Ray Mercer. I was with me and Reagan shows. Al Cole. I used to be with Tyson. Lennox Lewis, we just talked a little bit, and we were cool. Officers, they knew what I went through, and they'll talk to me. You know, I was nice to everybody. We was mean before a fight, but after the fight, it's no thing after we did something. The competition, you won, I won. Supposed to be angry afterwards. Okay, that's how beautiful to make the sport that beautiful by doing that type of stuff. You know? So I know a lot of these boxers, and I was good friends with them. I never thought I never got cocky. Larry Holmes and who else? Larry Holmes and somebody else. Oh, Jorge Gonzalez, the tall 6'8" Cuban dude. He was a Cuban gold medalist. And he was walking around before the fight. He was walking around all tough and mean and stuff like that. And I was like, and people were saying, Tim, I hope you knock him out. He's arrogant. He would look at me like he was going to kill me. I said, okay. I knocked him out. And I think the third, you just look at it. I knocked him out, and everybody loved me after that. I knocked him out. And then I went into the dressing room to hide to him and give him a hug, you know. But he wasn't again after that fight. You know, somebody else knocked him out too. Reddick knocked him out. or to stop the fight. But I knocked him out. And I just didn't like his attitude because he was talking all cocky and walking around like this. And then he was getting up with me, and I said, okay. I dropped him. Yep. I was cool with him after the fight, though.
So what we can do? Go ahead, Cedric.
Just taking it back. Sorry, can you hear me properly? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Champ,
I'm enjoying myself.
Good. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on here, man.
Okay.
Taking it back to the beginning, like the beginning, when you first started boxing, at what point in time did you realize that this is what you wanted to do? The reason why I asked this question is, I never made it to your level. I only had 30 amateur fights, but transitioning from a athlete to a coach, people come and go all the time. There's very few that last that long, and usually when it's usually around when they start sparring. Even after they spar, once you get to that certain level of sparring, is when people usually quit or they stay for the long haul. So at what point in time did you realize like this is what you wanted to do? Like, what age were you? Was it like a time was it a sparring, or was it one of your earlier fights as an amateur? When did you realize like this is what you want to do as a career?
This is a good question. I was groomed to be American football players, baseball and basketball. We didn't even think about that. I didn't think about boxing. I was an athlete, and this guy, my religious brother Tommy Wade, passed away. He would BC Studios. He would do printing. And he would make sure that me, my brother Anthony, I'm gonna call him my brother Elonzi, like the same. They were older than, a couple of them was older than me, and my Elonzi, Steve, my brother Steve, was Anthony, Stevie, my brother Anthony, my brother Stevie, Elonzi, and me. So it was like 5 of us, and they called us the Mighty Crusaders. Tom called us the Mighty Crusaders. He was a religious guy. We would go to church every Sunday. It was like I'll just tell you about my first girlfriend. She's older than me. She was from England. I was only 7 years old. I cried one time when she left. But let's get back to this. Tommy Wade, his mom lived right on my block, six, not too far market. Sylvester Stallone did his stuff. He would come every weekend from New York to make sure we play sports. I didn't worry about my father Wade getting in trouble. My pop was everywhere. He worked stuff, but we were worried about time. Hello.
Yep. Everything's good. We can hear you.
We're good. We can hear you.
Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. So we were waiting for Tommy to come from New York, and we couldn't wait. We got loose jackets with white arm, leather sleeves. We was the Mighty Crusaders. We played baseball against everybody. We would go out the neighborhood and play the Irish. We would go play the Italians, and it was like play basketball. We were mainly football and baseball. So our thought we was going to be football players or baseball players, because Tommy would make us do all those. Basketball was number 3 on the list. Football was first. And I never really told anybody this. Football was first, baseball was second, or they was on the same level, baseball and football, and basketball was third. So he would come and teach us football, then the next day we would play baseball, or during that day we would play ball, then later play baseball. So he had us, we couldn't get in trouble. And then, as far as in terms of games, we didn't want to disappoint him. Not our dad. We don't want to disappoint. We don't want to get Tommy upset. And plus, I was scared. I wasn't. So in terms, I didn't think about boxing. My uncles and them used to box in the street. The Witherspoon big uncles. It was old. My uncle Gally was like 100 pounds. My uncle he was like 260. My other uncle was like 280, big guys. They were big guys, and they used to box in the street. But I never thought of boxing. My father, he was about 240, 250, maybe 260, about 6'1". They used to box in the street, but I never thought of it. So I went to university. I got a scholarship. I was all Philadelphia tight end. I wasn't real quick, but I can get that ball. Told the quarterback, see over, throw the ball over there. And I had good hands, but I wasn't real quick. My brother Amy was all Pennsylvania. He was a split end. His mom wasn't good enough to go to Arizona State, so he went to Tempe, Arizona. He went to a small college. Butchie, he never went, and my brother Steve never went. So me and Anthony went to the schools. So when I went to college, I started as a freshman. I had good hands. I caught the ball. Me and my friend Keith Davis, we probably could talk about it another time. So I got hurt. This linebacker hit me in the back on the way down. I caught a pass. 2 cornerbacks me, and they started sliding off me. I was getting ready free, and this big linebacker from Missouri, who's about 6'6", speared me in the back on the way down. So, and I was off for maybe a couple of weeks. They had to get me ready. But then a lot of things were going on. I was young and wasn't away from home. I wasn't really homesick, but my friend, he was all state. Keith Davis, he passed away about 6 months ago. He was good too, but he wanted to go home, and he found a way to get us home. His mom sent tickets for us. I didn't really know. He had the tickets, so we were starting with these guys from Chicago. He was like got in a little altercation with them, and then people from Chicago was coming to hurt us. So we had to get out of there. That's how it became boxing. So we got out of there. We was in Jefferson City, Missouri, Lincoln University, Missouri. We got out of there, we got home, and we found out those people that was going to hurt us was only an hour away. And we barely made it. We got out of there and went home into South Philadelphia, and we met up with Clayton, if you know him. He was junior middleweight champ. Earl Hargrove, Kenny Reese, they all came from my neighborhood. We started boxing, me and my brother Anthony. We started boxing. I didn't think of being a champ. I just wanted to get in sports. And I wound it up there. I didn't really, like other amateurs, they were going in, I'm going to be Olympic champ, I'm going to be gold medal. I didn't think of that. I just went in there and just started boxing. And later on, I thought about it. After I said, whoa, I can make money at this. But I just was going in as a sport. And because I liked it. It was like physical and like football, and I wound up heavyweight champ of the world. But my main love was football and baseball. And so when I got into boxing, I tried to do the best I can with that, and this is where I wound it up. Yep. I played tennis. I played golf. I had a Jewish friend that would pick me and my brother Steve up on the weekend because he was going to this little recreation center. Me and my brother Steve, he older than him. And this Jewish guy named Peter Iskin, who was another mentor. I love this guy. He was another mentor of us. He helped us go to summer camp, this Jewish summer camp. And if he's another guy I didn't want no news to go to because he was like my big brother. He's a lawyer now in Ohio. So we just had a lot of mentors around us in the right direction. But little do you know, who was behind me was my grandma and my mom. The men didn't push us, it was the women. The woman. Every time I fought, I called my grandma. They called her Gang War Fanny, her nanny. She did not play. And I'm just finding out I was her favorite about maybe 6 years ago. Don't mess with Gang War Fanny. So I'm at the fights. I'm at Larry Holmes' fight. I'm at all these fights. I don't call my dad. I don't call my uncle. I call Grandma Fanny. I call Grandma Fanny, and ain't that something? And I call my mom. Wow. But I always call Grandma Fanny. I call Grandma Fanny. She said, hey. Don't you let them boy beat you. Go home, she from down south. First, oh shucks. Did it again. I'm sorry. Listen, I would call my grandmama, grandma thing. Grandmama take her out and fight. She said, Timmy, don't you come home the loser. You better whip that boy behind. Don't bring you whip that boy ass, right? She would tell me that. She would beat up. I don't want to hear nothing from my dad or my uncles. It was great. It was grandma, you know. And the women is what kept us up in our family. It wasn't the men. We had a whole bunch of men. It was the women. My mom, my sisters. If something happened, they'll get together and make sure everything is right. You know, there's some real serious. I give respect to my mom, my dad, and he wasn't. He was a good guy, but my mom made sure 8 kids was okay, and she's still doing it today. Teacher in West Philly and Philadelphia. Her husband is a preacher. Her doctor, Reverend Dr. Shirley Bird. That's her name. And if anything go wrong, all we got to do is call her. And I'm 63 years old. Say, Mom, so and so. She said, well, Timmy, just come down here so we can straighten that out. We can straighten this out. It's the women that was behind me. Tommy Wade was a great mentor. Peter Iskey was a good supporter, and I love Peter and Tommy. But it was the women. It was the women. My mom, my grandma. It was on. It wasn't a man. A man. And they all want to be strong. Believe that. They're all strong. Anything happened, they put their money up. India, Lynette just had a baby this morning. I got a grandson, a granddaughter. Her name is. She had the baby this morning. That makes 14. Okay. But the women, I got 5 daughters. Thank you. I got 5 daughters, and if anything go down, they call each other and put their money together or try to figure it out. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I know women are trying to come up. We need to give them more respect. And I got my little baby in there. Nothing happened to her. And, you know, run around the streets. I don't want to run around in the streets. I have a little girl to take care of. I got my sisters. I got my daughters. I call them. I got my son. We need to take care of kids. And that's what the world needs. And I feel happy now. All that stuff that happened in boxing and all that other stuff, I'm happy now. She get on my nerves a little bit, though. She get on my nerves.
Oh, looks like we lost Cedric.
Well, we're running up on that 1 hour time zone. So we've done an hour show here, Tim. So when do you think you can get hold of Paul and get Paul on the show?
He could came on today. He's dying to talk. He's dying to talk. He's ready. Listen, he can get you to better understand what boxing needs. And this is what you need to do. I'm going to call Paul. When can we get on?
Well, I was going to suggest.
When can we get him next time?
Yeah, I was going to suggest next Friday. We'll send him the exact same.
The deal is done.
Do you want to do it next Friday?
He's been waiting to talk. Yeah, he's been waiting to talk.
Yeah.
He's been waiting to talk. You know what I'm saying? Okay, next Friday, and then what I'm gonna do too is try to get other boxers. I'm gonna try to get Terrell Biggs. I can probably Ray Mercer. I know Al Cole. It's gonna be hard to get Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Because when I see them, I do speak and say hi and talk to them. My brother Anthony used to spar with Holyfield and Tyson. There's other boxers I can come on too. Just give me some time.
That's awesome.
And
so awesome.
I can come on. I can get this judge to come on to tell you how bad they treat women in boxing. Okay, she's one of the top officials in Pennsylvania. He's a judge, and they've been going through changes. The president of the commissioner is really not paying women their fair price in the boxing game when they judge or officiate. That's a big issue. So if you call me on the phone instead of this, we could talk about it. And so she been trying to step to the commissioner, the boxing commissioner of Philly, because she says that the women are not getting paid the same as the men when they be out there doing the officiating with the boxing and all that. And she's tired of it. So there's a lot of stuff, man. Just let me know. I'm gonna start writing it down, and if you're interested in it, we can get them together. Okay?
Absolutely. I mean, our show is called Talk and Fight, and that's what we want to talk about. We want to improve this game.
I'm just happy that you guys, doing this here thing is sharpening me up. This is what all the boxers should be doing, because there's going to be a gap in the middle. Okay, you had all these boxers, and then they disappeared, and then you got these new boxers. It's kind of mixed up. What happened to the Sugar Ray Leonard and the Tommy Herms and the Witherspoon and our different eras? If they get out Ali a little bit, you got to go back and read. We got to keep them up to date with a lot of stuff. So now you got boxers with their skills. They didn't do the same skills we do, bouncing around like Floyd Mayweather. He's very successful, but they bouncing around and doing stuff that we never did. We would stay in the pocket and make a guy miss, boom, and hit him there. We wouldn't jump nowhere. We were told to sit there and make a guy miss. It's beautiful art. If you sit in front of somebody and go flip, boom, and hit him. Like that day, you don't see none of the boxers doing that. And there's a lot of fans upset because they're seeing a lot of rubbish now. A lot of fans, well, they like it used to be. I'm hearing that all the time now, guys. So I'm going to try to get a team together, okay, and see what we can do. There's another podcast with all these guys, India, Canada, and you're supposed to go on there. You're supposed to go on there, right?
Yeah, I told you I would.
Set it up. Okay, let's set it up. How much we finish almost?
Yeah, we finished.
Yes, sir.
Let me know. Huh?
Yeah, we're finished this show tonight.
What did you say?
Yeah, we're at the time limit.
Okay, so you want me to get next, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Paul would have got on to. Let's get him on next time.
Definitely.
Just text me everything. Let's on, and I'm gonna try to get other birds for us. Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Thank you for having me on, and I'm looking forward to next. When is the next one? Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Same time.
Sunday. Next Friday.
Oh, you have one on Sunday. Aren't you going on to the symposium Sunday? Aren't you? With Graham.
I thought Tim had something else to do this weekend. I thought he was somewhere else.
No, I'm going to the Saturday. I'm going to the Bronx to see Iran Barkley, Michael Spinks. I'm gonna get these things down. You guys can try to interview Michael Spinks. Tyson supposed to be there. Iran Barkley. So listen. Remind me. Saturday, I'll be in all those guys will be there. Let's see if I can get a couple of them to come on, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay?
Awesome. That'd be awesome. Thank
They're all going to be
Definitely.
Larry Holmes going to I don't think Larry Holmes going to do it because he been always me. Like, I don't have no money, and he be like belittling me a lot. And I don't really, I speak to him, but he talked down to me a couple times. He can't beat me. He can't beat me still. Okay, guys. Tomorrow, I'm gonna have my suit on. My daughter, we're going up to the Bronx. I'm gonna try to get some guys down, potential guys, so we can do something. Maybe put them on next week. Okay?
Yeah,
definitely.
perfect.
It's up to
you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, champ.
You
Thank
got
you,
my
champ.
exchange my number. exchange my number between you guys so you can call me, okay? You have my number,
Definitely.
right?
Definitely.
I do.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, so I'm going up. Remember me. I'm going to ask my daughter to remind me, and we're going to set these podcasts up with them, all right?
All right.
Sounds good, champ.
Yeah.
Sounds
You got a
good.
deal.
All right.
We're looking forward to it. We're
Something
excited.
good. I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
All
Thanks,
right,
Tim.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, see you later. All right, you too.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us on Talkin' Fight with two-time heavyweight champ Tim Witherspoon. And you going to take us out there, Mike?
Yeah, man. Talkin' Fight fans, thanks for joining us on the Friday night panel. You know what it is. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Jab that like, click subscribe, knock us out those comments because you know we love them.